Danger. You're watching Loudmouth Presents Off the Top Rope. Bam!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have got ourselves here one of the very few, I think one of only two third generations wrestlers in South Africa. The game changer himself, showing off his prodigious muscles, Devon Shooter. Devon, how are you, sir?
Yes, yeah, I'm good, Don. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's really good to be on here. Doing very, very well. Thank
All
you.
right, I can see you hitting the gym pretty hard there. You mentioned it was 25 degrees and sunny today. As you can see, I'm dressed up like a freaking Eskimo.
Yeah, no, look, I said to you it was 25 degrees but it still basically is. Like I said to you, it's peas, like just showing off at the moment. No wind, sun, crazy.
Yeah, and 2 weeks ago when I interviewed your dad, trampolines were landing up on other people's roofs, so it's fine. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
that's crazy. That's how it is. It's crazy.
Yeah, Devin, you are part one of a three-part series with Sons in Wrestling, where the father or the grandfather has been involved in professional wrestling, and now you have taken up the mantle for the family. Just on that, did you feel pressurized to join professional wrestling by your dad, or was it just a natural progression? You felt, it was just you were surrounded by wrestling, and it's just something that you wanted to do.
Don, I think for me it came to me quite naturally because I mean I grew up into it. So I mean I remember I was putting stickers on chairs and helping put up the ring, and you're so excited. Your dad like says to you, "Listen, you guys get to put the ring up tonight," and you're like, "Yes, it's unbelievable. Tonight we get to put the ring up." Meanwhile, now I know exactly what they were doing. Just making lighter work for themselves and having a cheap labor. So
There we go.
yeah. So, and then I think my uncle and my dad carried quite a big name throughout South Africa.
Yeah.
So to fulfill those boots has always been like something that's been something on my heart, and I hope truly and that guys can honestly say, and I don't know if I fulfilled them yet because he is a living legend, my dad. But I would love to fulfill those, fulfill those boots, and take it further. So whatever they've done, like my dad probably thought about his dad, like, he just wants to take it that bit higher. And then with myself, I just want to take it that bit higher. And if I'm blessed, my son does the same thing and he takes it even higher, so.
Yeah,
but like I said, it just comes to you, I guess. You can't, like I said before, I said this game, you don't choose it. It chooses you. And once it's got you, it's not letting you go.
There we go. Well, you mentioned your son now. You will probably be if he does get into the game, the first fourth generation wrestler in South Africa, maybe even in the world. Are you going to push him towards it, or?
Yeah, like I don't want to push him towards it, but I remember with myself, it's not something like I didn't need to be pushed into it.
Right.
I wanted, when I saw it, I was like, I want it. So I hope for his sake, as wrestling's taking off more and we have more shows and that sort of thing, I'm sure it will bite him because it's in his blood. So and I even think worldwide, I don't know. And I'm thinking straight out, think about like overseas, the UK guys. I know that Ricky Knight Jr., he's a third generation. So they got a lot of third generation guys over there. And I think in the States, it's the same. But I think fourth generation, he will be literally maybe, let's say there might be even 5 in the world. There isn't many of those going around.
Right. Well, speaking of the Knights, you spent some of your earlier career in the UK. How did you get involved with the Knights in the UK, and how, just give us a drop points about your time in the UK as well and how you enjoyed it.
Oh, so Don, where do I start? No, it was fantastic. So, like I said, I'm forever grateful and indebted to Mike Anderson. He basically put me in touch with Ricky. So I just met up with him the one time. He wrestled as Hillbrow Warrior in South Africa in the days with my dad and my uncle. And we met up with him the one night, and then I just said to him, look, I am looking to go overseas and wrestle for a while. And he said, no, he'll put me in touch. I didn't hear from him for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one time I just got a mail from him and said, listen, yeah, this is Ricky Knight. Send him a mail. I didn't know who Ricky Knight was at that stage. I mean, so I started chatting to him. We started chatting and all that sort of thing. And then, I eventually got over there. And what an incredible promotion. And listen, that family, what it's done for wrestling in the UK, it's really put it back on the maps. Right. As it was. I mean, it's always been good. It's very good overseas, and guys do it as a profession there. Yeah. But for me, what a professional family. I mean, they do. It's unbelievable, and such great workers. And I've always said that to go over there, you actually learn that you're never seen as a superstar there. Yeah. You do the same thing as everybody, and we all treated the same, and you carry the ring just as much as the guy who does the last match carries the ring. You take the ring down just as much. So it's nothing like, okay, that superstar gets to sit on the side, he watches us. No. So there you're humbled, and I feel Don, a lot of wrestlers, once they go overseas, they see that, they don't, it's not in, let's say in South Africa, a lot of times the guys put up the rings for us. Yes. I know with you guys, I know with in Joburg, you guys also had to put up the ring a lot for the shows like that. So I do know that. But I know at the big shows, the ring does get put up for us. Mm-hmm. So I went there thinking, that's what's going to happen again. I'm sitting around, I get there to the first show. I'm sitting around, I'm watching all these guys put up the ring, but I'm like, I'm sure these are the guys I'm working. What are they doing? So the guys are like, hey, what are you doing? Like, you need to come put up the ring. So I'm like, oh, all right. I didn't even know this. And then, so from there, and it was great. What a great, just a great learning. It just taught me so much. And I think that's where I learned a lot of my, you matured as a wrestler. So, and you learn yourself, you get to learn yourself, because a lot of times you're in a foreign country and you actually got to start like learning about yourself as a wrestler, because there's no such thing. These guys, they don't know you. It's not like I'm from overseas and they're like, okay, it's an international. That's not how you're seen over there. Like when we get internationals down here, it's like the internationals. Over there, they got internationals all the time coming in. For them, you're just seen as another wrestler that, has got to put the effort in. You got to work just as much as that guy's got to work, if not harder, because they push their guys. So
right. And when we spoke about this previous times when I was down in PE and things like that. You said you were working two matches a day for 2 weeks or something like that. You worked literally every day.
Yeah. So we worked every day. A funny story. So when I got there, they said you get Mondays off. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't need off. Yeah. Eventually, when they said Mondays off, I couldn't wait. Like, I just wanted to stay in bed the whole day, because I knew that night I'm leaving on the road again to go wrestle on Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock. I have to be at the next event. Right. And then so every day is twice a day. Sundays is 3 times a day. Right. So. And that's straight for 2 months. Wow. Okay.
So you would obviously recommend it to guys in South Africa to try and do something overseas.
Absolutely. I definitely feel that if you can do it and you have the opportunity and you can get the contact and things like that. Obviously, it's a bit tougher now with the situations. I am on their Facebook page and stuff like that, and I see they're just finding their feet again, which I'm so grateful for, because they've done such a great work in overseas, and they really deserve. They've really put a lot of effort in. Right. But I definitely feel it, because you grow as a wrestler, Don. The whole thing is you just learn your craft, and you're able to master your craft, because it's all about you just every day. So you're not doing anything else. So you're literally doing the same thing every day. I can remember the one time, which was quite good, is that I worked the morning show, I worked the afternoon show, and then we had a hall show, which is their big shows in the evening. Right. And I couldn't move my one arm. Mm-hmm. So my one arm was literally like, my elbow looked like a tennis ball, like standing up my elbow. So the one guy, I just said, guys, do you have ice? So I kept ice on it, put an elbow guard, rubbed stuff all over it, taped the elbow guard up like this, went out there, like had a massive match, came back, and like no one would say my arm was messed in the match. But when I came out there, I mean, I couldn't even move this thing. This arm had to stay in like this. But it's because it's wear and tear on the body. You are doing, it's like rough every day, twice a day, Mondays off. Like I said to you, when they told me Mondays off for the first time, I was like, no, man, what are you talking about? I don't need a Monday off. When eventually I saw this thing, I was like, you can't wait for Mondays. You wrestle to get to Monday so you can sleep in the whole day.
Yeah, yeah. Was it liberating in the UK not fighting in a place where everybody knew your name, where you could you could go out there and essentially, what in inverted commas, explore yourself as a person and as a wrestler? In South Africa, you're Trevor's kid, or you Blacksmith's kid, or you Woodcarver's Woodcarver's nephew, whatever it may be.
So that was really good because I didn't have anything like, I would say a lot of times I always say, and I never want to be pushed because of my father and my uncle. Like, don't push me because of that. Push me because of me, you know? Yeah. And over there, that's what, and over there, believe it or not, you have to prove yourself before you get anything. So you don't get anything, nothing gets handed to you over there. And it's, you go with what they say. Yes. So you don't call the shots. Like I said, you really get they really humble you when you get there. Right. Because you walk in there feeling like a superstar, and you in 2 weeks there you feel like, oh my word, what am I, a disaster? You know? Yeah. Eventually, you know, I think they just want to see how your heart behind it, and see your attitude, and then they work with you. And they, like I said, you don't walk in there and say like, this is who I am, this is what I do. They're like, not yeah. You know. Yeah. That's not what you're going to do. Yeah. That's not you. That's not what you're going to do. Yeah. Right. So, in the beginning, you're limited, I would say, in the beginning. But then once they get to know you and you've really proven yourself, so they watch you and they're like, okay, now they give you a gap now to do what you want to do. And then if you prove yourself there, then they're like, okay, the world is yours. Right. Do what you want to do. Right. So, did
it annoy you in the beginning of your career, when you started wrestling and things like that everybody was like, oh yeah, that's Trevor's boy, you know, the Devon Van der Westhuizen, you know, part of the Van der Westhuizen legacy? Did it annoy you a bit, or were you proud of it at first, but then later on try to establish your own personality within the family?
I think in the beginning it was very tough, Don, because I was always put like behind my dad, so I always had to it wasn't as people think it's a lot easier, where I didn't find it as easy, because I was like, you know, I always felt like I was a tag along, you know. I just had to be in because my dad was in, and if my dad wasn't in, I always felt like I'm not going to be in. So I was always like holding on for dear life to, like, you know, he can't get injured, he can't get hurt, because like then I'm out. Eventually, like, I got over that, and I was like, started building my own character vibes, and then I was like, okay, cool, well now I can run by myself, which I think took a lot of hard work and a lot of years. I think going overseas played a vital part in that. But I think, you need. For me, it was tough in the beginning, Don, to be honest, because it felt like I was almost running in his slipstream, you know, riding on that thing. And like it's it's great to be part of the Van der Westhuizen family and whatever, and they got one of the greater names in South Africa as we stand, you know. But for me in the beginning, like I said, it was tough, and it did make it a little bit tougher in the beginning, because it almost felt like I was almost handed things. So for me, it always felt like the guys were like, he's only here because of his dad, you know. Right. So for me, I had to prove a lot more that guys can be like, okay, this guy has got what it takes.
Yeah. Now you've tagged a lot with your father, and he's been a tag team specialist with your uncle, and he's tagged with you and things like that. He said that his favorite tag partner is Leslie, his brother. Obviously, because they've got that brother connection. If you
Mm.
could choose your personal tag team partner out of the talent in South Africa, who would you choose your perfect partner to be?
Sure, that's a tough one. You see, Don, like for me, it needs to be someone that has also got chemistry. We're going to have to feel a lot of chemistry, and I like for me, someone that I would gel along with, and that would just probably get me. I've worked him a heck of a load, and that makes a difference for me because I've worked him so much. Is someone like Jerome.
Yeah.
For me, he'd probably be pretty good because he just knows the business well, and someone like that could probably really gel with me as well, quite well, you know. So for me, it's just someone who can. It's that chemistry. That's what my dad and my uncle. I mean, yesterday, those guys. I mean, they could sort of I'm sure they're like telepathic. Like they knew what they were going to do next. Like they didn't have. They just looked at each other and knew what's coming. For me, that is amazing chemistry, and I think a lot of tag teams don't have that anymore. That's the thing. That's why you can't just put a tag team together. That's why tag team divisions take such a knock, because you're just throwing a couple of guys together and hoping for the best. Where there's got to be such great chemistry between the guys that they almost know what they're thinking before they think it.
Yeah, I get you. Now, you personally, you've gone through a few gimmick changes and a few tweaks in your wrestling career. I mean, you started off as Devon Van Resthuis, and then that was the schoolboy Devon Shooter, and it's a game changer Devon Shooter, and things like that. Do you think that that's a natural progression for you as you've gotten older? You've not grown up as in a sense, but the veteran aspect of it comes in now, because I mean, you've been wrestling now what, 15, 16, 17 years, right about there?
Yeah. 2004.
2004.
What's 2004?
Okay. Well, we wrestlers, we can't count, so it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, since 2004, what's that? 17 years. I don't know, 17 years. Yeah,
there we go.
Like that.
Yeah, I know. Wrestlers can't count anyway, so it's fine. So do you think you had to go through that natural progression, that it's something that came naturally, or do you think it's something now that you've had to force because you didn't want to be Trevor's son?
Yeah, I think like it's a very good question, Don. And I think what's great is that I think if you watch like my career over the timeline, like I've grown into the person I am now, and it's taken that progression. And I'm happy for the different gimmicks and things like that, because it teaches you to change styles. It teaches you, it humbles you. It teaches you a whole lot. So I think I've grown into who I am now. Right. And that's possibly because of the years. That's also because of maybe I've had to work harder to get out of that thing of it's Trevor's son. So you're almost pushing harder because you're like, I don't want to be known as the guy who's getting the push because of my dad. Yeah. I want to be known as the guy that puts in extra effort to get the push. Right. And I think that's maybe why I've moved over. And as you could see, I mean, if you take it from the beginning stages when I had one of my first matches with Dukongo, that for me, it was literally a match I got because my dad was on the bill.
Yes.
And from that, and I think it really plays in your mind because you're like, okay, I get opportunities because of my dad, not because of my talent. So as that type of thing happens, you really start putting in harder effort because you need to get work. So you're like, okay, they're not going to phone my dad to say, okay, Devon can also come along. They actually phone Devon and they're like, listen, we're booking you to be on the next show. Right. So, yeah.
Okay, let's go back to 2017, May 2017. We're at the Arnold Classic. You are in a four-way match with Carlito, Shelton Benjamin, and PJ Black. Did that, when you were standing in the ring there, now I commentated on that event. When you were standing in the ring there, you had this look on your face like you had to kind of pinch yourself that this was happening. Would you say that that's definitely one of the well, if not the highlights of your career so far?
That is the highlight of my career. That is like, Don, I wish I'm sitting here and I'm getting goosebumps while you're talking about it, because I put myself back in that match, and you take a look and you're looking at like the best of the best, like standing around you, and you're like, here I am. Like, here I am. Does it get? And I was saying to myself in the ring, I was like, okay, well, I was nervous. I don't think I've ever had nerves like that in my life before. And yet I don't think anything tops the nerves I felt on that day. But I think you look around and you're like, I said to myself, like, does it get any better? Because it's world-class athletes, literally world-class athletes. And no, Don, I must be honest with you, that was probably one of the most hectic and best moments for me. I mean, I've still watched that match, to be very honest with you. I have that match. And time to time, I'll just sit back and I watch it. And and I'm just like, because if I can give any advice to any wrestler, don't take anything for granted. There's a moment that I wish I could just you could take back, and you can just sit there and just take in what is taking place right now. That for me is so vital, and that's working anybody in the world, whether you're working your friend down the road or whether you're working. I say, don't take it for granted. Take it in, because it's what an opportunity. But like you said, let's go on that four-way match. It was like, Don, I wish I could tell you. I can't explain. The feelings that we're going through. So
I want to ask you, out of those three, PJ, Shelton, and Carlito, which one of the three would you have preferred to have had a singles match with?
Sheldon Benjamin.
Reason?
That guy was like just on another level. His moves, his shots, his the way he did things. Don, if I can just explain it to you, he was so safe, but yet on another level.
All right.
I've never been thrown around like that. To this day, that was the first time that someone picked me up in a suplex, and I was like, "Oh my word! Now I'm gonna fly." I got picked up, and I thought he picked me up like I pick up my 11-kilogram son. That's how he picked me up, and I was like, "No, now I'm gonna fly," because he picked me up like I was like nothing. So, but just everything the way he did it, I was like, they were all great. I mean, they really are incredible wrestlers. I'm just saying, for me, one-on-one, that guy was like, just he's got so much. Everything's done with such perfection, and so his execution is on point. In the match, you can see he gives me a super kick, and he said that's his weapon. And when I heard that's his weapon, I was like, "Oh my word, this is this guy's weapon!" And he gave me a super kick, and my head ended up by Carlito, which was lying on the other side of the ring, and my body was still here by PJ. So, but I mean, it was the most incredible thing I've ever gone through. I mean, I looked up after that super kick, and I was like, "Did that just happen?" And I was like, "Boom!" So it was incredible.
Yeah, he chased me. Hey,
Say again.
Shelton Benjamin, he chased me.
Chased you?
He chased me after the event because of the one call during the match. I called something during the match, and he was on the outside, and he looked from where it was, because I was standing at the back, and he looked over like this, and I can't remember what I said, and he just looked over at me, and I was like, "Oh God, I've done something wrong." And after the event, when we were all in the back change room and everything like that, I was in there shaking everybody's hand. He's like, "I heard that call." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're gonna die." I was like, "I'm gonna what?" And he chased me around where the stage was, chased me around to the back and through the curtain where I was standing like this, where the guys were playing baseball on the inside with the nets. Chased me all around there. All around there. I was like, "God damn, I just freaking, I didn't compete, but I just commentated this 3.5 hour freaking event. Now you're still chasing me as well, man." I was pissed off.
No ways.
Crazy, man. It was crazy, man. He gave me some points, but that I thought he was really pissed off. He just apparently just wanted to see me run. I don't know. Okay.
Well, I mean, you got chased by Sheldon Benjamin. Who else can say that?
Well, not very many people, so it's fine. Okay, Devon, you've got 5 matches.
Okay.
5 matches. You're putting together Devon Shooter's The Game Changers Super Card. You've got 5
Okay.
matches. 5 on 5. Any South Africans,
Okay.
put them in matches.
So I must just pick.
This
I won't be.
is Devon Shooter, the promoter, picking 5
Okay.
matches for his event that he's going to be putting on.
Okay.
5 matches. Let's go.
All right. Cool. So I would definitely put. I would go. I would put that Mark Zander against Ananzi.
Okay.
Okay.
Good man.
I'd put JP against Zizou.
Right.
Okay. I would then put. Got 3, 2. I'm just trying to think. I'm really enjoying. I really enjoyed that the Alicia Super Dragon and Matthew Hammer match.
Right.
I thought that was cool for a triple threat match. I really thought that was a really good match.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good. To be honest, one of my favorite matches was actually. I'm not putting you over. I never put people over, so don't even get happy. I don't people put over. I never do that. But okay, I'll say I really enjoyed you against Kilimanjaro.
Right.
I just really thought it was a good match. Just the shots and everything. It didn't look safe. It just looked hard. So, but it looked good. So it was fine.
I can tell you now, it probably wasn't safe, and it was very hard. I've had many matches with Kilimanjaro, and I've had his boot prints just everywhere, all over my body. But you know what? His weapon of choice is the big boot, man.
Yeah, no, it was very good. And then a match that I almost forgot that I would love to see one more time was Tornado against the Blacksmith.
Oh. Are you talking about the Wrestle Monster 2 match?
Yeah.
So good. It was so good.
So if I could see that match again, like one more time, like I would love to see that match again because it was. I was so drawn into that match. I bought in so much. It was really, really one of the best. The psychology was so good. It was a 5-star match in what I thought. So if I can, those 5 matches for me would really be good.
When your dad announced his retirement at Wrestle Monster 2, did you cry a little?
No, I did. I'm not even going to be ashamed. It was heartbreaking. It was the end of an era.
Right.
And I think for me, and it just set the bar. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have done it.
Right.
So all those things, I was like, yes, all those emotions just start running through you. You're like, you never expect this day to happen, but here it goes. And listen, there were tears. I can guarantee you. That's why I called all the guys into the ring. I'm like, I'm not going to be caught on camera in tears alone. I'm like, we're going to all be caught with tears together here. Let's call everyone in here.
But now he hasn't stayed retired.
So I think he's willing to do 1 or 2 if he has to. But I really do think it's basically, the body takes its toll.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the body, you just eventually, your mind is saying you can, but your body is saying you can't.
Yeah.
So
would you like to be the one? Would you like to be the last one? The last match?
Yes, I think that would be an honor. I think that would be great. I think that would be a great one. But I would like to see the 2, if he has his last match against, and Tornado has his last match. I think that match for me will be the best match I would ever see in my life because they're going to give it everything in the last match. Yeah. I think for me that would be unbelievable.
Right. Devon, listen, my man, I'm not going to keep you much longer. I want to thank you for being on the show, giving us your expertise. I know it's, there's a lot of things a lot of emotions that come with being a third generation superstar and all of those things. So, thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you very much for your time. And we wish you all the best. I know that you are going to be competing this weekend. So best of luck, man. Break a leg, stay safe and steal the show.
Thank you so much, Don. I appreciate it. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
ladies and gentlemen, this has been Off the Top Rope with the game changer Devon Shooter. Loudmouth presents Off the Top Rope, uncensored, uncut, and third generation.